Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's very special day. Well, actually it was yesterday. It was a special day because yesterday Nintendo announced the now Nintendo Switch Lite. I am very stoked to talk about this as I don't consider it a Switch anymore. Let's get into it. So yesterday, in dramatic fashion, Nintendo released a video detailing and revealing the Nintendo Switch Mini. Sorry, Lite. I'm gonna have to get used to that. Now, the focus of this device is full portability. I was hoping that we would still be able to hook it up to the television, but that's not something that's a part of the package with this device. It sells at a $200 price point, which is $100 less than the current Switch, which is a nice price point, but at the same time, is it worth it? This gets into why I don't consider this device to be a Switch anymore. The whole basis of the Switch is that you can take it from TV mode to portable mode, no problem, no pause to your gameplay. I think that that's amazing. And that's the selling point of the Switch, after all. I mean, so it baffles me because this system does not plug to television, though I can imagine that Nintendo will sell, or someone will devise, an adapter that allows the Switch Lite to hook up to the television. But as it stands, that's not a part of it. So you've taken away the hybrid aspect. So really it's not a Switch. You've also taken away the Joy-Cons. So, I mean, I understand that. You're cutting down the cost of the system, but you're taking away a big part of what makes the Switch unique. The cool thing is you're still able to use peripherals like the Joy-Cons on the Switch Mini. God, I'm gonna have to get used to that. The Switch Lite! Now in this video, which I've got to give Nintendo credit for, was very, very well done. I didn't see the operating system running at all. No shifting between tiles, nothing. Not a single shot. So I wonder if it's going to share the current Switch's architecture or if it's something new. My thing is personally, I'd like to believe that Nintendo wants this particular device and the next Pro to be a part of a family. And I mean, yes, the original Switch, fine, but I was really hoping that this Switch, at the very least, yes, 720p screen. I wasn't expecting any more than that. And people that say they wanted a 1080p screen or that would have been nice, I still think that that's ridiculous. Like, they're trying to make the system cheaper. So you go with the same 720p screen, but you make the system smaller, therefore the games will look even crisper on that 720p screen. My thing is the current Switch playing third-party games like Doom, like Wolfenstein, even Rocket League, can't play it at the frame rates that it's supposed to. Can't play it at the resolution it's supposed to in handheld mode. So it would be nice if this system got a boost enough to where games like Wolfenstein and Doom would play with consistent 30 frames per second, that would play with consistent 720p. Like, that would be amazing. That would be just a little, that would be like a new Nintendo 3DS, kind of an upgrade. Like that's nice, that's small, and you're taking away all these features, so I can understand the 200 price point. Because honestly, without that kind of power added, I only want to pay like, 160, 170 for this thing, But honestly, I would still buy it because it seems really nice. The build quality looks lovely. The color selection works for me because the yellow reminds me of the yellow Game Boy that was sold with Donkey Kong. The turquoise reminds me of my first 3DS. The one that had that candied gloss finish. I love the original 3DS, now that we're talking about it. Great system. But yeah, when you look at the original 3DS and it's, 340p on that little screen, actually looked really crisp. I actually remember Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon looked so much better on that than it did on the XL. So in a way, the graphics will be kind of improved in that respect. Smaller screen means closer pixels, means cleaner image. But $200 puts it at a price point just outside of the range that I'm willing to pay to have another Switch. The other thing is will I be able to move my data between systems? Like, that's an issue. Like, what would be the point of me having this system? With the Pro, on the other hand, with it being hugely, vastly better, I will which, by the way, the Pro, they've just released some information on it, and it's not gonna be just a mere upgrade. It's gonna probably be the next generation of Switch, and that's why I believe, especially with how the Mini has just come out and how it's looking like it may be the same architecture pretty much as the original Switch, that we may not see this new Nintendo Switch for another 2 years. And I'm fine with that, you know, especially with the momentum of the Switch being so well, but my problem is when are third-party developers gonna stop trying, you know? When is the advancement gonna just put them off completely? Because there's gonna be a time period, an overlap period with the next generation Xbox and PlayStation that developers are gonna still be using very much this generation tactics when making games. It's gonna be a year or two even into the system when you really start to see that power being used properly, where you're gonna see the huge difference, the actual leap from this current gen to next gen. Though I'm not saying that that's what must happen. You know, there may be a developer that's already ahead of the game and we may see that day one. Never know. But as it stands, I feel like Nintendo, with the momentum they have with the Switch, still, it's ridiculous. I think that they have time to really work on this next system and really think about what could make it last, what could make it stand out, what could make people really want it. Because I mean, right off the bat, backward compatibility is amazing. The fact that I'll be able to transition my everything over to this system will be great. The fact that this is a hybrid system, Nintendo, and the fact that you guys have such a illustrious background in handhelds, most of which recently, I mean, everything from the Game Boy Advance, I believe, all the way up to the 3DS, had download play with some games, certain games. Virtual console games, you know, it kind of varied. It was never a consistent experience. Some games offered it, some games didn't. And it was kind of annoying, but like when they did, and I would say that the DS was probably the best generation for this, download play was fantastic. Why can't we bring that back? Where if I'm playing locally with someone, they can play with me and have less characters or less options, whatever the case may be, but allow us to play the game together with one cartridge. It's so simple, like, it just makes sense. And that's one way that you earn points with the consumer, you know? Something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be online. I mean, I understand the implications with online, trying to do something like that online, but local play, that should be a given. Especially with your first party titles, ARMS, Splatoon, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, like, every one of your games, at the very least, should have this option. But I was really hoping that the guts of the Lite would be something a bit more superior to the OG, so that when the Pro came out, there was ways in which these two systems could interact, really making it feel like there's some symbiosis in this family of gaming systems. I just feel like it would be amazing if, when the Pro system is docked, the Lite system can act as a controller, kind of giving you that Wii U experience. And I know a lot of people look back, because not many people had the Wii U, not many people knew of its greatness. A lot of people look back to the Wii U and might talk shit or just not give it the respect it's due. Dog, you could control your TV with it. And there were so many features that came out at the beginning of the Wii U's life, but the Wii U did so bad that they got like just ousted, like, what was it, Nintendo TV or something like that, where you could watch television and have like an interactive experience with it. It's a lot like what is being offered nowadays with other DVR sets and whatnot, but it was just a really ahead of its time kind of program, really cool. But at the very least, it was a channel. You could use it as a remote. You could change the channel, you could raise the volume, you could change the input. So if I was playing video games on the gamepad, I could easily just change the channel when my wife came home and wanted to watch some TV. It was no problem. And the Switch, as much as I love it, there are elements that were left behind from the Wii U generation. It's just so sad. There's just so much locked potential there. Not just with the way you interact with your games, but the way that you interact with your media. You know, the way that you play games within a family setting. Like, there's so many cool aspects there. So I am interested, I'm very interested to see how this all pans out. The Nintendo Switch Lite looks beautiful, and I hope that it sells well. I'm sure it will, because it's at such a sexy price point for someone who hasn't bought a Switch yet. But I do believe that Nintendo is going to release a device that allows you to hook your Nintendo Switch Lite up to the television, because it wouldn't make sense. Why would you even give me Joy-Con use? Who's going to want to play with Joy-Cons on a little screen? It's already bad enough on the OG Switch, but to make that screen even smaller, what games are you possibly playing? And it doesn't have a kickstand? That's where, the disconnect happens for me. There's no kickstand. Why would I play with Joy-Cons? Why? Obviously, somebody's going to make a stand for it. We know that. But I also think that somebody's going to make a device that allows you to hook it up to the TV. Anyway, guys, that does it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like, hit the subscribe button if you're not already, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this new upcoming Nintendo Switch iteration. Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna avoid it? Do you already have a Switch? Are you not interested in a Switch? Let me know. But if you're not interested in a Switch, something's wrong with you, because it's the best. You should get one. Or wait for that Pro Edition. That thing's gonna be sick. Take it easy, guys.